Hey, my name is Daphne, and I'm
And I'm
cut.
you are cut, and I'm Bonnie Violet, and I'm uncut. Sorry about that.
And basically, what this is all about is two friends who have recently, I say we've been friends for about what, 2 years? 2 years now?
Yeah, a couple years now, I think. Yeah, at least two.
And yeah, our journey has basically come to me being a post operative transsexual,
Hmm.
and Bonnie,
I'm not. I'm not even.
right?
I don't even know if
Pre-operative transsexual.
I'm
Would you say maybe
pre-op.
our pre-op?
I'm pre-op. I'm contemplating op. I mean, I don't even know what surgeries I'll have if I will, or
There's a
I'm still
whole
kind
bunch of them, child. You don't even have to do none of this.
of. I got plenty of time to figure that out.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, I wanted to just welcome all of you to joining us in our podcast. For me, this has been a long 53 years of trying to find a brand for myself, trying to understand who I am as a person, knowing who I am, being comfortable in my own skin, and basically finding my voice to be okay with everything that goes on with me and the world of me. Does that make sense, Bonnie?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And that gives me, because to me, you seemed to me like, I think with somebody who's like newer in transitioning and things like that, like I know you get a lot of calls from me, whether you like it or not, where
Of
like
course.
for me, I just see you as like, and obviously we're all still growing and learning, but I just see you as so much more further along than me, I guess. And so
Yeah.
like, so it's just meant the world to me to be able to just kind of come to you, because I think like as a trans person, it's been really easy for me to not be willing to like, or to think that I'm so unique or different, that when somebody who's not trans is talking to me about what I'm going through, that I'm really reluctant to like receive it. Do you know what I mean?
No, can you
Yeah.
go
So like,
give a little detail in that? Because I'm
I
not
don't know.
really.
I think just where I'm at, my transness is such a big part of my life right now. I feel like it's all I really think about, and it's what I want to talk about. But when I'm
Yeah.
talking to people who aren't trans, I don't trust that they really understand what I'm talking about, and they can't really like call me on my shit, or they can't say like, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about," and like that's something that like you've been able to do with me that's been really helpful. Like you said shit to me that um I'm like, what the like gosh. But then once I've really like thought about it, it's really kind of what was going on for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been, Bonnie, like I was saying, I have been transitioning. Uh, well, let's just say I kind of knew that I wanted to be a girl since I was two. So my mom used to tell me stories about me being fascinated with ladies' stockings, and I'd always go and hide and pretend I was Jeannie and put t-shirts on my head, and say I was Jeannie, or when we would play as children, we play superheroes. I had to be Wonder Woman. As you can see, I had to be Wonder Woman.
right.
So I've always identified as female. So that's always been my thing. My only prayer in life was let me wake up and please be a girl, Lord. You know what I mean? So I had a hard road coming up in Chicago, because I know that's another thing why we are so different, because I grew up rural and you grew up
Or other way around.
yeah.
You were urban.
I'm
I was
urban
rural.
and you're rural, yes.
Yes, yes,
So it
yes.
was a little more, I don't know, was it rough for you growing up, but you didn't really identify as trans as a child or even have these problems, did you?
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I mean, yeah, it was, yeah, I mean, I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but as I do remember a lot of my problem, like I never saw myself as a trans person or as a girl, because I didn't know, I think it was possible. Like I didn't know there was such a thing, I guess. Um, but I was constantly being corrected. Like my father was always telling, I was feminine, and my dad was always like kind of correcting that, trying to tell me like
Mhm.
not be so soft, basically, to like watch where I put my hands and don't stand like that or sit like that or speak up, or, he never was saying like,
Definitely
stop.
had the makings of a little girl.
Exactly. Which was just like my natural nature. But I think because and again, I blocked out a lot of my childhood. So I don't know if maybe I had these ideas or beliefs or thoughts when I was younger, and somehow they got like kind of like scared out of me, so to speak, or other things in life happened that kind of just caused me to check out, to where I'd never really like reconnected with that idea until like my 40s. And then once I was in my 40s and I was like, I said, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like once I saw it and I could see it like
Yeah.
throughout my whole
There's
life.
no denying.
Yeah. There was like no turning back.
Yeah. So did you play with dolls like I did when you were little? Did you play with Barbies and?
No, I mean, we had like, I mean, kind of, but they weren't Barbies. They were like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and He-Man. Those were the ones that were okay to
Yeah.
play with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, yeah, I think I was more girly in the sense of like, I always wanted to hang out with like my mom and my grandma, and I always wanted to be indoors, and I wanted to like make things, like I was a little bit more
Bake,
crafty.
cook.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
just liked hanging out with mom and grandma a lot more than like, I just didn't really understand my father and my grandpa and like the men in the family. I didn't like the same things they liked. And so, I
Yeah.
don't know, I just never felt comfortable, in those environments.
Yeah. And did you have, like I did, I guess I had cousins that supported me, it was just between us little kids, like, okay, well, you could play the girl, or you know what I mean? You could do, but for adults, it was not, it was very frowned upon. My mother would be like, quit laughing, like, quit acting like a girl, quit giggling in there, go to bed.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was, don't hold your hand like this, and why you switching, and so the kids in my family understood me,
Right.
but it was still a tease. I was still called sissy, and and hopefully, the way that the world is now, that little kids don't have to go through that anymore,
Right.
because it's rough out here as it is. So
Yeah.
to
So
go
you
through
really
that.
so you identified with being a girl? Did you say you were a girl to like your cousins and stuff, or were you just kind of took on the girl roles and things?
Well, I didn't say I was a girl. They always say you a girl. You know what I mean? You acting like a girl, or But I always played female roles. Like when we played, you know, playtime. My sister and I, for example, used to play Veronica and well, I forget her name, Veronica and Betty from Archie's. I would have
Uh-huh.
to be Veronica. I always identified as the sassy one. So I've always identified in female roles, even as a child, and growing up through that and getting bullied and whatever. I never lost faith of that part of me, even though I got beat for it a bunch of times. I
Yeah.
never lost faith of who I am. And
When,
to believe that that's even possible to these days is a miracle for these children,
right.
because we went through some shit.
Yeah. Well, and when did you like realize, or when did trans or you being a girl really come into your mind?
Well, I have to say, I was 16. I was in high school, and I, in high school, I was deathly, by the way, I was deathly afraid of going to high school as a teenager. I just knew they were gonna beat the hell out of me in high
Mm.
school, because of the terrifying, elementary school. I thought I couldn't take another, So, but I guess high school, when the diversity came in and more, you have the headbanging children. These were our what do we call it? Our pronouns back then.
Okay.
Headbangers. Then we had the, what were we? The weirdos, I guess.